Well, it's gone and done it again, folks. Not even 24 hours after the horrific tragedy in Washington, D.C., with a mid-air collision between an Army Black Hawk and a regional aircraft coming out of Wichita, led to the deaths of 67 people in a horrible situation. Donald Trump is back at it, this time on Truth Social, and he's striking out once again against BRICS. He doesn't let up. Donald Trump has repeatedly expressed his position against de-dollarization, warning BRICS countries must maintain the dollar's role in global trade or face economic consequences.
Welcome back once again. This is Chris Report, and he assured me that since Simonstown and Boulders. Folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa.
The idea that BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. We are going to require commitment from those seemingly hostile countries that will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. They can go find another sucker nation. There's no chance that BRICS will replace US dollar in international trade or anywhere else. And any country that tries should say hello to tariffs and goodbye to America. You leave the dollar, you're not doing business with the United States because we're going to put 100% tariff on your goods. Folks, President Donald Trump has renewed his threat to punish BRICS members whom he sees as intentionally undermining the United States. He has a fair point. The BRICS currency effort, spearheaded by China and Russia, has more to do with harming the United States than with the stated purpose of an alternative to the dollar. An alternative already exists in the euro. BRICS, of course, is an acronym denoting the emerging national economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which was added a few years after this came about. Now, the term was originally coined in 2001 as BRIC by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill in his report, Building Better Global Economic BRICS. That was a Global Economics paper number 66. His idea was about suggesting the emerging economies in the 21st century. I covered the BRICS conference in Johannesburg as an accredited journalist when that occurred in 2023. It was a fascinating event, but one that produced virtually no substance other than some new aspirants to join it. BRICS members are fond of talking up their alliance. The only problem is there's no such thing. BRICS is little more than vaporware and non-binding promises among autocrats and totalitarians. BRICS has many agreements and memorandums of understanding, but no treaties or binding arrangements. BRICS members do not grant duty-free access, preferential trade, offer any mutual defense pacts, or any trade agreements or treaties. And even if a BRICS currency is in the offing, it remains to be seen if it would even attract sufficient confidence to succeed. In 2016, the International Monetary Fund accepted the renminbi as a reserve currency, allowing Beijing to access the special drawing rights basket, which determines currencies that countries can receive as part of IMF loans. But no one wants the renminbi. It languishes as a reserve currency. People do not go to it, they go to the dollar and to the euro. If China is the main backer for a BRICS currency, will it even succeed? As I said, BRICS is an informal grouping. It has no founding treaty, no secretariat supporting it, or any headquarters. The chair of the group, which rotates every year through the different members, manages the agenda and focus for the year, as they did in South Africa, and organizes the annual Leaders Summit, which is the centerpiece of the BRICS efforts. But it's really just a talking gabfest. Moreover, prior to 2023, and even after the admission of new members, BRICS is not a serious player economically if China isn't a member. In 2023, China represented 70% of the BRICS economic power. The second largest economy is India, which has the world's largest population. But India has just 13% of BRICS GDP. Still, BRICS does have clout in commodities, and in the case of China, in industry and technology as well. Brazil, India, and China make up roughly 2/3 of global production in sugarcane. China and Brazil represent nearly 30% of global maize production. China and India produce over half the world's rice. China, India, Russia produce more than 40% of the world's wheat. Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, all aspiring or new members, comprise almost 90% of global oil palm production. And China and India also produce 40% of the world's potatoes. But these countries consume most of those products, so it's not like they're shipping them all over the world. There are some exceptions, Russia. Ben Norton from the Geopolitical Economy Report claims that what these statistics demonstrate is that BRICS has become one of the most important organizations on Earth, bringing together nations with massive populations, enormous economies, and incredible productive capacities. No, Ben, meetings accomplish little or nothing of substance. There are no treaties, and even if there were, it's unlikely member states would abide by them. After all, BRICS is mostly a rogues gallery of autocrats and totalitarian states. Yeah, so all those lovely statistics about commodity prices fluctuate wildly, up and down. Just ask people about pork belly futures. Yeah, that is not exactly an economy strength. Now, the technology that and the industrial capacity China has, that is a strength, and it's the world's second largest economy, so that is a major player. But China's 70% of BRICS. Take China out, and BRICS is a joke. Now, Trump wants to base U.S. power on financial system. Today, he once again threatened to punish BRICS should they seek an alternative to the dollar. Now, that strategy is based on countries needing access to U.S. dollars and financial markets, just as they need oil and information technology dominated by U.S. commercial interests. But Washington's tools can be limited in their impact. Joe Biden's foolish plan to counter Russia failed because Putin secured a deal with Xi Jinping to buy Russian commodities like oil, iron, timber, and so on, even before launching the Ukraine campaign, thereby shielding Russia from the economic impact of sanctions. And shutting off Russia's access to the SWIFT banking clearinghouse did not stop Russia. It didn't even slow it down because he had that agreement with Xi Jinping. Biden's toothless folly exposed the limits of financial coercion to achieve success. Now, America is far better off when the world sees the country for what it was prior to the juvenile Clinton administration, a stable, functioning democratic state with the most capital, legal recourse, investment opportunities, the largest consumer market on the planet, and a safe haven for wealth. America must seek to appeal to the world. In 1990, currency traders dealt with multiple reserve currencies like the US dollar, the British pound, Swiss franc, German mark, and Japanese yen. But fast forward 35 years, and there are really only two currencies where countries and investors park their assets, the dollar and the euro. But rising federal debt, political chaos, needless foreign adventures, and generations of politicians leaving America vulnerable to invasion, terrorism, industrial espionage, cyber penetration, intellectual theft, copyright theft, and trademark infringement have all weakened the dollar and its luster as a safe haven. Only German intervention in Greece, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Ireland saved the euro from complete collapse a little over a decade ago. Were it not for the idiotic concept of quantitative easing at that time, basically printing money, thereby inflating supply, the traders and states would have abandoned the euro and fled to the dollar, leading likely to the collapse of the euro at that time. But the dollar was so weak that they didn't abandon the euro. The massive increase in the M1 money supply meant the dollar remained weak. The more there is of something, the less value there is. In spite of all the challenges facing the dollar, it remains the currency of choice for savings, for investment, as a safe haven, and for legitimate and even illegitimate commerce. Think of cocaine trading. The dollar, for now, also is still how petroleum is priced and traded around the world, which gives the United States a great advantage. We don't have to worry about currency fluctuations when it comes to energy, as all other countries have to. Now, most global trade is still conducted in dollars. The USA has the largest and most liquid stock and commodities markets. Despite external impressions, the country is politically stable. It has the largest consumer market and most advanced transportation network in the world, the most extensive and best endowed postgraduate programs, producing the most scientific inventions and discoveries, issues the most consequential patents and trademarks, has among the most successful global brands like Nike, Google, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's, and is the world's largest energy and oil producer. It also remains a breadbasket of agricultural production. But Donald Trump is entering new territory, picking a fight over the BRICS currency. But unlike most American or European politicians, Trump has vision and sees threats from far off in the future. Waiting till BRICS is a legitimate challenger would be too late. Leaders see the threats long before they materialize, when they can still be dealt with effectively. Now, Trump has successfully used the threat of tariffs to get Justin Trudeau to throw in the towel in Ottawa, Claudia Sheinbaum to take back illegal Mexican immigrants, and force Gustavo Petro to back down over repatriation flights to Colombia. If Trump is willing to leverage tariff threats with USA's largest trading bloc partners in Canada and Mexico, it seems unlikely he's bluffing over the BRICS currency. While politicians in D.C. are navel-gazing over pronouns, diversity, equity, inclusion, and Elon Musk, Trump is playing the long game, realizing he has only 4 years to make America envied again. There you have it. Is Trump picking the right fight? If you have vision, maybe you see the same thing that Trump does. Should the U.S. sit by idly as this country is flushed down the toilet by its politicians, or should its leaders stand up for Americans and make America great again while making America envied again? What say you, folks? Cheers.